It's I, the Vibe Kage, coming to you with a new What If. First things first, I would like to thank Will, Finister, I believe that's how I would say it. I might be wrong. However, thank you, Will. You have given me $50 through Venmo, through the business, site that I have where you guys could just pay me money for the what ifs that I do. By no means are you guys obligated to do so. I just wanted to thank Will personally because it was one of the notifications I saw on my phone this morning. And, well, yeah, I was just happy. Anyway, that's aside, this gave me a unique idea. Wait, you mean someone giving you $50 gave you an idea? Yeah, kinda, sorta. Anyway, that being said, Will, this one is for you! What if Deku was trained by All For One? Now, in this timeline, this is how I want it to change. You see, All For One is very damaged. More damaged than his canon self, actually. You see, well, All Might did land that skull-crushing blow. He also managed to do a few more body hits, too, so All For One's actual body was more broken down than in normal. So he's hooked up to a lot of life support right now. So, and that's how he kind of just stayed. Well, he could steal more quirks. It was more or less finding more healing quirks. And ultimately, even then, there's only so much they could do without some assistance of technology. Well, then something happened. You see, we time skip. The normal course of the story stays, as things. It's just one of those new media outlets that they were watching, and it just so happens to see All Might saving two boys from a sludge villain. Now, this incident would cause some questions to arise. Who are these people? Yada, yada, yada. And, well, here's where things change. You see, rather than All Might, saying, Izuku, you still can't be a hero, he reprimanded him, telling him, no, what part of you being quirkless do you not understand? It still kind of happened to be with the cameras around, so they all heard about Deku being quirkless and still jumping in to save, attempting to save his quote-unquote friend. Well, that got a good murmurs throughout the crowd. Whispers about a quirkless kid running in to his own doom to save somebody. How stupid is he? Blah, 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 blah. Just constant muttering and trash-talking about Izuku. Now, Katsuki, he just overhears this all, and he's just like, oh, thank God, I'm not wrong. Well, something changed that very moment. Izuku snapped. Not like mentally, but at them, what I mean is. And he says this, oh yeah? Well, what about you guys? You and your goddamn stupid superpowers. How pathetic are you? You weren't gonna let him die, Death Arms. He points to Kamui Woods. Fire be damned! Isn't it I, with no quirk, was willing to run into fire? You are made out of wood who could just push the fire away from you. But no! You didn't want to do anything. Going on and on again. And then he goes off to whatever the guy with the cape is. And I'm just say Izuku. And you didn't even do dick! You're trash! Trash, my guy. Izuku starts going off more and more and more. And then, because I want to, Izuku looks at Katsuki Bakugo and saying, and you praise him? For what? Using his quirk for explosions? Destroying more than what the sludge villain actually did? Did you not notice that all the fires that are caused are because of his stupid quirk? But Katsuki was about to say something, but then something happened. something that no one really thought would ever be, seen on camera, on TV, anything. You see, All Might had actually punched Izuku. Not like all, 100%, United States smash. No. What All Might did was, punch Izuku right in the gut. There was that, as All Might saying, and acts of vigilantism are rewarded with time in jail, young man. As that's all All Might says. As, Izuku, as he's passing out, he says one thing as, he looks at All Might, which subsequently the cameras saw All Might punch Izuku, as he tells him, go ahead and silence the one who knows you're nothing but bones. As, Izuku would pass out. No one really knew what that comment meant, but all for one who had watched, said thing, thanks to Kurogiri, was interested. There would be a time skip about 2 weeks. Inko having to pay an absurdly amount of for Izuku's bail and for him not to be sent to jail. He has to take some classes that won't let him, that pretty much won't let him be taken to jail for his vigilantism, which overall ends, horribly. You see, Inko, pissed off at her son, would berate him for, the stupidity that he had about being someone without a quirk and still trying to do all this bullshit. Look at all the things that he's getting himself into. Inko's crying and, yelling at Izuku. Izuku says one thing that, pushed everything, thus ending the relationship of Inko and Izuku as anything more than just people who know each other. Izuku just looks at his mom and saying the simplest thing. I know you wished that it was me who disappeared rather than that bastard who left. Izuku turns his back towards his mom, as then he's saying this, well, congratulations. I'm leaving. I don't need any of this. I don't need you. I don't need anyone. No one believes in me, and that's fine. It's going to make it all the much sweeter when I prove you guys wrong. As, Izuku would walk off, Inko would be yelling at him to stop, come back. He slams the door shut. The little piece that said Izuku would fall off and hit the ground. Inko would start crying more and more. We're back. Anyway, like I was saying, in this timeline, after that little incident, that little spat with Izuku and Inko, he would gather all, and I do mean all, of his All Might hero memorabilia, goes to sell it on eBay rather than eBay because, copyright infringement. So yeah, this guy named Sir Smiles bought all the things, money was transferred over really quickly, come the same day of transfer, when Izuku drops off all of his goods, he goes to a hero agency, which he thought it was weird. He would go to Sir Nighteye's agency, dropping off all this hero memorabilia. Bubble Girl would tell him, oh, up there, down the hall, take a left, up the stairs, third door on your left. Can't miss it. She would smile at Izuku, because Izuku has this weird blank expression lifelessness in his eyes. It seemingly bothered Bubble Girl. Like, she's just like, okay then. Izuku's just like, alright then. Walks away. Sometime during Izuku's little march towards Sir Nightaye's office, Bubble Girl had said the person with the All Might memorabilia is on his way. Mirio, who was there for his, sake of convenience, and Sir Nighteye as his trainer, he would, stick his head out, seeing Izuku come, And one thing that surprises him is when he pulled back his head and he talks to Nighteye, he's saying that the kid looks to be like maybe just 2 to 3 years younger than he is. Nighteye would raise an eyebrow at that. Considering all this All Might merch, it's pretty hefty. It got a good significant amount behind it. There's some value in resale that, if a child were to have these, he wouldn't make much sense. Rather, it would make more sense if a parent were to get rid of them. And that's what he thought, at least. Maybe a parent getting rid of his kid's old All Might stuff when, he's going to college or some bullshit. It didn't really bother Nighteye. He didn't really need the answers. He just knew All Might merch was on sale. He buying, someone made a higher bid. He's just like, 10 times my regular bid. Izuku's just like, here you go, sir. I will drop it off to you at this day. What is the address? Simple as that. Every other person who was wanting to buy the All Might merch was just like, bro, the bid just started. Anyway, jokes aside, when Izuku walks in to Sir Nighteye's office, there he would see two people. Two people who, he doesn't recognize. He vaguely looks at Sir and thinks, I really, really hope it's not him. As then he turns to Mirio, and he's just like, muscle, blonde hair, blue eyes, smile. And he's just like, a fucking All Might clone? I get it. And then he starts looking around the room, and he's just like, alright, now I'm really confused. And then he's just looking, alright then, is this kid either supposed to be All Might's clone, a ripoff, or his fucking son? Izuku tenses up a little bit. And, well, Mirio and Sir Nighteye catch this, as they're like, easy, we mean you no harm. It's just, not every day you see someone with about, I want to say, 40,000 yen worth of material, young Izuku Midoriya. As, well, I guess it wouldn't be on first name basis, so he would say young Midoriya. As, Izuku would nod as he's saying, well, Sir smiles, whatever underscore you want to add. Izuku just looks at him, and he's just like, can I just get the cash and go? I really have no need for this. He was about to call it junk, and then he's just like, this guy's about to pay me money. I really don't need any of this stuff anymore. Mirio would look at him inquisitively. Like, he could sense that there's something off with Izuku. Something pained. Almost as if he was wronged. But he pushes that thought aside when, Bubble Girl over the intercom says something that causes a reaction in the room that you could have sworn as if Satan himself had stepped through. You see, there was this message from Bubble Girl saying, "Sir, you have a message from a Mr. All Might on line 2." After that, the room got really, really quiet and cold. Izuku just places the All Might material on the ground and then just walks away. Leaves the room. Sir Nighteye looked at Mirio and telling him, what was that about? Mirio was just like, no clue. So, in this confusion while Izuku leaves, Mirio would say, oh shit, his money! Sir, here, I can go give it to him. Mirio happily just running down the hall after Sir Nighteye gives him the thing because he has to answer a call from All Might. I wasn't trying to do that, but I guess I need to blow my nose. Anyway, back to the what if. Like I was saying, in this timeline, things are going to be very different. Now, Mirio chases Izuku down the hallway to try and give him the money. And when he catches up to Izuku, there was something off. Just something really, really off. Because when Mirio shows up, he's just like, "Excuse me, Mr. Midoriya, sir." He's just like, "You forgot your money," popping out. He hands Deku the cash. Izuku's just like, "Right, thanks. Sorry about that. I just gotta go." He turns to leave again, but then Mirio asks, "Say, so why are you selling all your All Might stuff?" Izuku stops for a second before he, sighs, takes a deep breath in, and he asks Mirio, why does he want to be a hero? Mirio goes into this, whole speech on wanting to save 1 million people because he was inspired by All Might. All this good jazz, and how Sir Nighteye even sees, has been training him pretty much, all along. And Izuku's just like, yeah. It's like he wants you to be either, like, a generic copy of him. Muscles, blonde hair, blue eyes. A smile that's supposed to save people. Sounds like he's stuck living in the past. And because of that, he can't see the fall of All Might. Which, when he said All Might, there was bitterness and venom in them. So, Mirio was just like, what now? Izuku just tells him, you don't get it. I don't think most people do still. Though, it's all about to come crashing down soon. I can see it now. Better than everyone else can. That Nighteye guy. Sir Nighteye? Yeah. Mira, I think. He was one of All Might's sidekicks. And then when All Might was done with him, he got thrown aside to the trash. Left alone. Because All Might thinks himself to be some sort of god. And now, because of that, generations of egotistical fuckers exist. Not only that, but we live in a society where whatever power, ability you have is the same as status in this world. Forget the personality behind the power. Oh, no. As long as you have a good power, you will be liked. You'll be loved. With that, all because of All Might. Izuku just looks at Mirio and tells him, make sure that you're not just some sort of weird, I don't want to say surrogate son for Nighteye, but the fact is that you, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, big muscly guy that wants to save so many people with his power, yeah, I don't know, you might be able to phase through things, and that's why this might not, stick to you. But I'm pretty sure you've noticed this by now, or at least subconsciously noticed. Nighteye only wants you because you could fill in. You could be a sticker to fill in a pat, to fill in one of the rips and tears that'll be caused when All Might falls. One of those little plastered on smiles. And you'll be fair. You'll try your best. I can see that. You're different from most. You're not in it for, for material status. Money means very little to you. No, 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 no. You're doing this because you actually want to help people. Well, understand this. In a world where people's abilities then give them this self-appointed justice system in their heads, I ask you this, young... What is your hero name? Mirio, for some reason, feels this uneasiness around Izuku, so he tries to say it confidently, but it sounded more as, even Mirio was questioning himself. See, my name is Lemillion. Izuku's just like, interesting, because you want to save 1,000,000 people. Alright then, I'll ask you this, Lemillion. What would be the point of your goal if you die before saving anyone? If someone dies before you could save them, does that reset your counter? If someone were to, no, not someone. If you somehow actually managed to save 1,000,000 people, would that cause the next one to just die since you're like, oh, I've already reached my goal. I've already done what I wanted to. No. Of course you wouldn't. But what about other heroes? Other heroes who won't be as kind and merciful. Other heroes who are only willing to save someone as long as there's someone to watch them. As long as there's someone to see them be a hero, they're willing to do the work. But in this society, a society where those whose powers don't fit the right mold, who get tossed aside like trash, who get stomped and squashed by heroes, all because of a stupid genetic thing called quirks. Well, I'll let you know this, Mirio. My only goal for existing at this moment is to rid the world of quirks, serums, technology, whatever it takes. I know a genetic mutation like this that spawns generations in time will be very difficult to get rid of, but in due time, I'll figure it out. And once that happens, I pray to you, hero, that you don't hit that 1,000,000 mark reach. It'd be a shame. Izuku says this as, Mirio, he's just thinking. This kid, he doesn't really mean any of this, right? Oh no, but he does. He does. See, we time skip. It's been about 3 weeks. Inko that very night, Inko had tried to talk to Izuku, but when she had opened the door, just barely pushed on it, it opened. Room was empty. Mattress, blanket, no blankets, just a light blank pillow. Closet was completely gone. No posters, no nothing. As Inko cried and cried herself for the next 3 weeks inside that room. You see, during this time, you would have a few people who had visited her, trying to comfort her, trying to see what had happened to young Izuku. See, though it sounds fucked up, we have something that Inko heard that, really, really hammered home why Izuku would never have been truly at peace with this world. You see, during one of the nights where she overheard one of the police officers who was, going through some things, they have to come back every now and then, do some checkups, see if Izuku has contacted her. Nothing. Well, she overheard one of the officers ask his superior, why are they still looking for a quirkless kid? It's not like he could be much use to this world. I mean, if he had a superpower that's useful, then yeah, sure, I can understand. But isn't this just kind of like a waste of taxpayer money? Which, that was it for Inko. She had truly had sealed herself off from the world. Now, Katsuki and Mitsuki, and I think it was Masuro, the Bakugo family, had all attempted to get Inko out of the house one time. They had knocked on the door, and, they hear shuffling noises, so they know she's still alive. But when when they when the person who opens the door, peeks out, and what they see doesn't match anything. Mitsuki remembers how Inko used to look before Hisashi left. And then, her slim frame, tall, slender body shrunk down, squashed, and got fat. And when Katsuki remembered Inko, changing. But now, this was just awful. Sunken in eyes. Her hair was very brittle, dirty, and greasy. She had withered away, actually, not eaten anything. Death by dehydration is just astounding at this point. So they thought, but Inko said something that surprised them all. She's saying she ran out of tears God knows how long ago. Since then, she just doesn't have the energy to do anything. She smiles weakly at them as, she's saying, I would invite you in, but it's a bit of a mess. Mitsuki is over here trying to, grab Inko, hug her, and all this bullshit. Katsuki is just surprised that all this shit is happening all because of that stupid Deku. And he mutters it to himself. Which didn't go unheard of by the Greenette. You see, Inko would look at Katsuki and ask, has he seen him? Has she seen her boy? Katsuki feels awkward as fuck about this because he hasn't. He was actually really happy the fact that Izuku. Okay, so that was interesting. I had to call about my heater acting wonky, so I'm gonna end the video a lot sooner than I want it to, but only because I can upload this, because I've not had anything uploaded in a minute, and that feeling doesn't feel right with me. I'll come back to this. Let me give it a few more minutes before I cap it off, actually. Let's go to Izuku meeting All for One. Now, you see, while the Bakugo family tries to comfort and, give Inko some peace of mind, hell with it, you even had Katsuki as far as to say that he's going to bring back the damn nerd, so, he could face the music. Running away like this won't help him do anything. Some bullshit. Enough to make Inko chuckle a little bit, but Nope. You see, that night Inko would personally take a bit too many sleeping pills. She wanted to enter a dream where her, Izuku, and Hisashi were there, all together as a family. One more time. It was a simple note. She just is going off to dream a dream that she used to have. She longed for times like this. Heavy her heart is, so much so. She truly thinks that this is for the best. She did nothing to keep her family together, so now that they're existing somewhere else, she'll join the memories that she has. She'll live with the family how that she herself wishes she had in her dreams. You would have a fun young Izuku who would still go on about wanting to be a hero with his quirk that is a mixture of fire breath and moving things and moving fire. The combination of Inko's quirk and his father's. You would have Hisashi there who's watching over Izuku, teaching him about his fire control and all these other cool techniques that they picked up along the way. A simple dream that she wishes she could have at least lived in once. But no, reality is far too cruel. And that cruelty, she's just so tired of it. So, the only things that she does apologize for was giving Izuku probably the worst support of his entire life, and apologizing to Mitsuki. She's saying goodbye to her best friend because, fuck. In the letter, she goes into a detailed description of how Mitsuki, she found a guy. They had a kid who had the perfect, most awesomest combination of their quirks. And it looked so good at the beginning that their kids were becoming friends. And then, all because Izuku was quirkless, it all went to shit. And, now there's more years of pain built up than there are years of good memories built up. So, yeah, she'll apologize for leaving Mitsuki the sole owner of all the happy memories because Inko just letting them fall. Anyway, Izuku wouldn't be too devastated or distraught at his mother's death, rather just, a dark cloud over him. He sighs as he pushes away that emotion. He walks. Izuku had already done something that he didn't think was possible. You see, on his little ventures of just, living from gas station bathroom to park bench to just middle of the alley, there was this thing in the Camino ward that he was going to. It was a late night, party or something. He thought, maybe some food and drinks to help him survive. Well, yes, he did get a food, a mighty tasty muffin. But said muffin was filled with schnozberries, and schnozberries taste like schnozberries. Now, shortly after Izuku realizes that his muffin was laced, Izuku would trip, and he tripped badly, so badly. My guy did not handle himself at all. And within Izuku's hallucinogenic mind, something... Hey, what is up, mortal? Anyway. It's almost... Fuck, I have to get ready for work soon. Anyway. To end this what if, like I said, Izuku trips balls. His spiked muffin made him see that the world that he was in was filled with monsters. Monsters that he needed to take care of. which, just seemed to come naturally to him. Maybe it was all the years of video games that he had played. Who knows? Maybe it was the fact that this muffin, altered his perception and thus causing different reactions throughout his whole body. The years of hero notes and how people use their quirks, all of it just added up into a bloodbath. 47 people dead, 3 injured, 2 escaped. One child, one man, was left alone, laughing maniacally in the new fountain of blood made from the carcasses of dead people that are just in the pool. He laughs, as in his mind, what he sees wasn't blood that was dripping around him. No, it was like geysers of rainbow sprinkles, and it was so cool. And he wasn't killing humans. No, he was breaking monsters apart. It all seemed like a good game to him. He laughed, and he laughed. When the laughter subsided and the memories of what did happen mix in with what Izuku feels, he's still up there. It's just somehow he can remember the things. He's remembering everything. He remembers the look on this one girl's face. It was clear that they were the same age and she had snuck in here and, clearly regretting it. Fear laced all over. Nane? Tarble. Anyway, fear laced all over her face. It was adamant that, she couldn't move. But Izuku just turned away from her. He could tell that this girl wasn't one that he needed to cleanse like the other ones. It's weird. Despite his trip, he could still see that this girl had something unique. A golden energy around her that, told him, good to live. While everyone else was just an array of colors that needed to be washed away, since they're not too important. At least from Izuku's perspective. Now, when he let this girl go, she had plugged in her headphone jack into her, phone, calling the police, everything that she could, explaining everything that she saw. Well, we would time skip 2 hours. When the police arrive, they take the girl, Kyoka Jiro. They comfort her to the best of their abilities, and, though she was outside, so she could see, and she did have her headphones in. It was weird. When the police pulled up, she retracted her headphones. She starts explaining all this. Her parents are there, they're crying. Parents of so many other dead members of kids are there. And something that happened. Well, she retracted her headphone. Izuku looked at the police outside as purple smoke appeared and twisted. Someone stepped out. Now, this person was in a suit. He had a mask on, and it was very clear that he was not looking too good. As he sticks out his hand, Izuku just looks at him, and he's saying, "Who are you?" "I am all but a friend, my friend. All but an enemy, my boy." As he reaches his hand out, "You and I have been damaged by a certain blonde with blue eyes. I think since he has his protege, it's fair that I gained one of my own. Wouldn't you say, my boy?" And I'm gonna end it there.